I briefed them for the last word. I said, please take a bath now and return to your place. And by early morning, when you go to prayer, take your guns and your bullets. Expect that early morning we are going to face the largest enemy ever. And everybody was silent.
And what's the date again?
That was Wednesday afternoon up to Wednesday evening. The following day was Thursday. That was October 20. Thursday was October 20 then.
That's 74?
No, 77.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And this is and what location was this?
Tabon Hills. Tabon Hills, about 25 kilometers from east and 20 kilometers from the seaside of northwest. Because Zamboanga is a peninsula, like that, exclusive. So the first to arrive was 13 unit of Tura bombers, and the chairman of the Congress was almost hit. The chairman and the vice chairman, Attorney Harid Rida and Attorney Napis Bedin, was almost hit. They were then chairman and vice chairman of the People's Congress. The People's Congress, numbering about 85 delegates, was actually in my camp when the Tora arrived, when the assault plan took place. 85 of them. They were all armless. Only a few of them have carbines or small arms. So when the Tora attack came, they all, of course, ran to their covers. Honestly, I don't have time to cover because I was in command of the troops. I have to stand and make decisions and shout and make commands. If I take cover, then my voice cannot be heard. So I have to stand by the bombs, whatever it is. Unfortunately, God willing, I was not hit.
What were you thinking at the time?
Yeah. And everybody was shouting, asking me to take cover and run to the Pax Hall. Dambong Sali, the acting field marshal by the time, and the Secretary General, Abi Bakr Lukman, once I shouted, run to your Pax Hall, they were the first to fall into the pit and never came out until I shouted to come out because the Tora are already back home. So everybody come out. Then, of course, some casualties were there, and we have to bury them and reconsolidate our men and plan how to sustain the initial fighting, because we were expecting the infantry to come in few hours. But after the Tora came the F-16, about three units, F-16 and F-15. This is a jet plane bombers, very big bombers. And after that, the cannon from east and west, all falling to our camp. After about more than 12 hours, maybe about 16 hours bombing, the infantry came. All those that came from the southeast were intercepted by our blocking posts. Not among them was able to penetrate. The group that were able to reach our main camp center came from west or northwest. They entered by two directions. The first direction from northwest was hit by Commander Asberin and Commander Langki Boy Kalawang group and Haji Hussein group. While the left one was blocked by Commander Kalawang Mortales and Abdul Hajjal Lakibol, and about three groups. They faced them in the center of the field of our camp. They resisted fighting until they found out that it was by thousands. So they withdrew to me and report, sir, they are by thousands.
What were you thinking at the time?
Yeah, what shall we do? So I ordered the deployment going up, 2 RBG from the right side and 2 from the left side, I said once they pour into the center, hit them. RPG is an anti-tank weapon which can hit a maximum effective range by 400 yards. 400 yards is effective range of an RPG, which is an anti-tank weapon originating from Europe. And we have 4 units, 4 pieces of that kind. And sad to say that the soldiers really suffered because it took them 2 days to retrieve their casualties. 2 helicopters picking up the casualties. They were all burned by the gun.
From the
Yes.
cannons?
No, this is an RPG. It's an
Okay,
anti-tank
sure.
weapon.
Yeah, sure.
The effect is that when a person is hit, he is burned, absolutely burned. And many soldiers arrived to Manila with only one eye, because the rocket passes about 1 feet to their body. Their eyes is being removed by the pressure of that rocket. And when it passes your legs, it makes some sort of being hit by an electric current. And directly hit soldiers were burned, absolutely. And per record, about 300 soldiers were killed in that incident, about 300. Other outside was not counted, only in that spot, about 300 soldiers were killed. And there were too many because they come and shoot, they come and shoot. There were by thousands. We just go around and hit them from the back. Then we hide.
So you broke up into kind of smaller units and...
Yeah, but I almost died because when the last cannon fall near my feet, the soil exploded and I was thrown to the water, to the river. It took me about 5 minutes to 10 minutes to come out because my gun was very heavy. I was in the water. I was hit by the soil, push, by the heavy result of the gun. I thought I would die. They think I already died because about 10-15 minutes I was unable to go out.
So what did they think when you shot that gun?
I was not hit. Nothing was hit.
So how did that battle resolve itself?
Well, of course, to us that was a resistance. We know our capacity was not enough, but there was no choice but to fight back. We have no way to run away because even if we go out from there, we will still face ambuscades, and the more we will suffer because we are not familiar to the terrain where we are going. We prefer to fight in that area because we master the terrain.
So in fighting the government, did you feel that your troops were a good match for the government forces?
That's really a good match. That's a really good match.
Training,
yeah, because
or combination?
imagine 15,000 fully armed men under General Kutu. The commanding general was General Kutu. In full battle gear, 15,000 men trying to encircle us. You can imagine how strong was the unit. And we were only more than 1,000.
No, that sounds like a tough
experience. Ah, very tough.
So that was 77. I guess this is post-Tripoli agreement. In your mind, where was the conflict going at this point? You just had this major engagement. What was the future of the movement?
The chairman was far, and we were able to contact him until finally we were summoned after the operation. We were invited by Noor to go to Tripoli for a conference. So the leaders, of course, not everybody, just the selected leaders arrived in Tripoli to attend that conference. Yes, I'm one of them.
When you travel, just curious, how do you travel?
Well, we used a high-speed, we call it Mercrosser high-speed boat, 165 horsepower, triple engine, very fast.
You go to Malaysia?
Yeah, it can run minimum of 30 knots per hour. It's as fast as the fastest naval boat of the British during the Second World War. The fastest naval boat of the British was 30 knots per hour, and this is like our transportation.
And you'd go to Malaysia and then fly?
Yeah, we go by the high seas.
So again, just at this point in the war, what was your perception or Noor's perception of where the struggle is going?
Well, Noor actually was trying to get closer to Muammar Gaddafi, how we can convince the Islamic world that we can be resolved. The conflict can be resolved. It can be given the proper formula or the proper solution upon which the government could realize that we are not supposed to be discarded from the society. We are supposed to be acceptable member of society, and we were only fighting for self-defense. Anyhow, the things did not start from us. It all started from the harassment of the marauders. It all started from the causes of the Bataan massacre of trainees, which the public doesn't know until it was delivered in Congress. And of course, the counter plans of the Malaysians, how it would be, was also unknown to everybody till the war become rigid and become so fast that international organizations have become concerned. They were concerned on the fact-finding reports of media, international correspondents who came to the Philippines every now and then and publicized this around the world. So the Islamic Conference began attending to the problem, and that's why a series of ambassadors came to talk to the Philippine government and take some priority agenda to discuss peace, to talk peace, until finally in December 23, 1976, when Marcos decided to agree to signing the Tripoli Agreement upon mission of First Lady Imelda Marcos and National Defense Secretary Barbero in Tripoli, Libya. The President answered Secretary Barbero when Barbero reported, said, "Mr. President, the agreement is now fully written." The President said, read to me the whole text of the agreement. And the President said, at the last, please put this paragraph. This agreement shall be implemented as early as possible, subject or provided in accordance with the provisions of the Philippine Constitution. So all what is written inside the agreement
had to be reviewed
has been captured by one paragraph.
Okay.
And the public does not really realize this until later, when the Tripoli Agreement was not really appropriate to be for implementation, because it all ends, the provisions ends with, it has to be discussed later, it has to be discussed later. So it was followed by the Jeddah Accord in 1986. And of course later, for the 10th time, the Jakarta Agreement of 1996.
And was there fighting throughout this period?
Yeah, it's a tremendous adventure of peace agreement. But the problem is, at the time when implementation comes to the stage for discussion, things changes. Every time it goes for schedule of implementation, things becomes, unwarranted.
So what did victory mean to you and your comrades? What was victory? What was the most you could hope for?
Well, actually, from the beginning, we were very positive, and actually we were very positive and very confident that we will win the war, provided one or two sponsors will come to us. Because we believe that one or two countries might decide to support us or sponsor us, and we were confident that we will win the war, because the Filipinos were divided, and the politicians were divided, and the armed forces also were divided. So we think we will win the war, provided Malaysia or Indonesia will come before us. But to our surprise, there was nothing, no financial support. The logistic was limited, so we thought that it was a game at the end. It's a game of uh, counter syndicate business. It's a game of the underworld. It's a game of the non-identified global group operating from behind the screen, cannot be mentioned, cannot be named, which has a focus on two things, two major programs. Number one, the New World Order. Number two is the repositioning map of the whole world.
And what do you mean? What's that?
The New World Order, this is a program that you have to follow up to the West. It's an umbrella program. Number two is the positioning map of the world is also the number two major program of the global group going up there that controls and shaded by the largest umbrella around the world for the determination of territories, political alignment, realignment, economics, banking, oil resources, gold, and everything around the globe. But if you fail to know them, you fail to follow them, you will lose the way.
Okay. Well, that's a big issue. Let me bring it back down to the Philippines one more time.
And we'll learn this later as leaders of the movement. Myself learned this in the process of research, and it makes me cool down. It makes me tone down. That what we are in is a game. It's a game. And if we don't realize this, we will fall into the game without being known. This is a game. Malaysia had a counter plan. Philippines has a plan. And the behind of all this plan is unknown. But later on it surfaces now that there's going to be created a new republic. The Great Republic of Sulu, North Borneo, and Sarawak. The Great Republic of Sulu, North Borneo, and Sarawak. And Chairman Miswari was informed when he was in Laguna Custodial House. That's why Miswari now is brave enough to stand firm and convene his RSF preparations, because he was informed that there's going to be a new republic and you must play a role again when this time comes.
Do you think that's viable? Do you think that could...
Well, it has been said. The process, how this will come in the future, remains to be seen and remains to be, But we all believe from our research that Philippines as a center of communication and world powers, access cannot be avoided. That Philippines belong to America and America belong to the Philippines. And I said that when these things happen, there's no way to revolt. Don't count me. I'm giving up my appointment. Though I will not give up my cause, I will not give up my faith, but I'm giving up the whole violence, because Philippines belongs to America. And I know that in the 1800s, America is in Mount Kitanglad.
Is where?
Yes, Mount Kitanglad. It's a top secret area that nobody knows in this country. As early as 1800, they are in Mount Kitanglad, Bukidnon.
We were still fighting the British. We had our hands full trying to get our own act together. But
yeah.
One broad question.
And before your question, I would like to add that the Second World War atomic bomb dropped in Okinawa came from the Philippines.
Yeah, they flew from here, I forget the path, but
Yes. It was the dropping of the bomb came from Philippines to Japan. So America really is having a strong hideout in the Philippines that cannot be said, that cannot be published, that cannot be announced.
oh, we've had a long history here,
Yeah.
definitely. But back to the MNLF history, and I know we've probably exceeded your patience on time here, but it strikes me that this Bangsamoro problem or struggle
Yeah.
over the
So
centuries.
so now at a semi-conclusive input, I would say that all wars are created. The First World War was created. The Second World War was created. The Afghanistan, Iraq War was created. And all wars in this region are all created.
No. Given that, is there I guess, simple question with no easy answer.
So we know,
autonomy,
as an analyst,
is autonomy going to satisfy?
as an analyst of the movement and a counterintelligence command officer of the movement, I made the conclusion that all wars are created and we are all created. So we have to cooperate.